Good morning, everybody. It's the little details that tell you it's a true story. They know that the feeding of the 5,000 was at the time of the barley harvest. So when it says the boy brought 5 barley loaves and 2 fish, the story has that ring of truth to it. And in the account of the resurrection, after the resurrection, there are a couple of little details that I really love. And the first one is from John 20. So Peter and the other disciple started for the tomb. Both were running, but the other disciple outrun Peter and reached the tomb first. He bent over and he looked in at the strips of linen lying there, but did not go in. Then Simon Peter came along behind him and went straight into the tomb. He saw the strips of linen lying there, as well as the cloth that had been wrapped around Jesus' head. The cloth was still lying in its place, separate from the linen. So Jesus, when he rose from the dead, he didn't just cast off all his cloths that he had on him. He took the one on his head and he rolled it up nicely in a bundle, and he left it separate to the other linen there. And I've seen some various interpretations on that about master and servant. But what amuses me a little bit is I think Jesus knew his mum was coming first, and he wanted to leave his like a tidy bed, and that always just brings a smile to my face. And the other one bit of detail that I really like is when Jesus made a cooked breakfast of fish and bread for 7 of his disciples by the lake shore, and he told them to cast their nets on the other side, and it says that they caught a large quantity of fish. In fact, it's the extra little bit of detail that convinces me that the story is true. It says, so Simon Peter climbed back into the boat and dragged the net ashore. It was full of large fish, 153. But even with so many, the net was not torn. 153, not 7 or 12 or some other biblical number, but 153, some random number. But for some people, those little details, they're just not enough. And for Thomas, he was the type who wants 100% proof. It wasn't enough for Thomas to believe what someone else said. And he doubted. He's famous for it. And Jesus, when he appeared to all the disciples and to Thomas, he said, reach your finger here and look at my hands, and reach your hand here and put it into my side. Do not be unbelieving, but believing. And Thomas answered and said to him, my Lord and my God. Jesus said to him, Thomas, because you have seen me, you have believed. Blessed are those who have not seen and yet have believed. And that's us. We're the ones who haven't seen Jesus in the flesh. We haven't seen the miracles that he's done in the flesh. We haven't touched him. But we still believe. And so, best way to think of it is, it's always best to believe a friend without questioning them all the time. So I'll just leave you with those few thoughts on this resurrection Sunday. He is risen. Amen.